Hey, so I was reading, well, I skimmed about these things called hadiths, you know, the sayings and stories about Prophet Muhammad, and it got me thinking, how do these hadiths fit with the Quran? Like, are they the same kind of rule book, or more like, I don't know, family recipes Grandma Lois keeps? Why do some people treat certain hadiths as super important and others barely notice them? I mean, if the Quran is the big main book, then hadiths sound like the commentary track, the director's cut explaining what the main character actually meant. But who decided which director's cuts are real and which are fake? Did people just pick favorites because they liked the punchlines, or was there like a scholarly committee with fancy robes and gavels? And then there's all this history stuff, the Umayyad period. That's when politics got messy, right? So how much did leaders back then use hadiths to make themselves look legit? Were they like, hey, this one hadith totally supports me ruling, or did they twist stuff so people would clap and give them taxes? Can religion and politics be separated, or do they always end up in the same greasy sandwich? I wonder, too, about ordinary folks. If some hadiths came from people close to the Prophet, and others came from, like, faraway relatives who heard things secondhand, how does that affect everyday life? Do regular people notice the difference, or do they just follow what their community grew up doing? And if a hadith seems unfair or weird today, is it okay to question it without being rude? Man, these are big questions. They make my head hurt, but in a good way, like after a bowling night. So if you were me, would you ask more historians, more religious scholars, or just call Lois and ask her to explain how traditions stick around even when they don't make sense anymore? Which route actually helps people live better lives, not just win debates?